What is poppin', yo? Back again at Fury. We got Tim, we got Josh. We may be seeing other people join the panel later on tonight, but we got a special episode for you guys. We're going to be touching on a very, very sensitive subject. You know, a lot of people say, let's talk about sports and keep it sports only. But sports is part of society, it's part of culture, it's part of, what makes us human. So sports sometimes dibble dabble in other subjects like, social issues, politics, so on and so forth. But today we're going to be talking about racial profiling and homosexuality in the NFL. It's that type of show. Hopefully people are not going to be too triggered. Keep your self-control on the group wall. Let's keep it civil now. We're all, fraternities and sororities together in this. And also people who's tuning in live on the YouTube channel, chime in if you want to or not. The number is, you can dial in also. We have a Uber conference open on the line. The phone number is 718-313-5155. If you don't mind, Josh, put that up on your little graphics there. But I don't want to take too much time away from here. I mean, I know we have a nice little quick segment to run by. Tim and Josh, you got to do your thing. And I think we're going to run into Punt That. Am I right, fellas?
Yeah. I think we're going to start off the show with a little bit of energy before we get into the seriousness of the topics. So Tim and we're going to bring back a little bit of that Punt That segment that we started off a few weeks ago. So my Punt That segment for this week, Tim, oh man, you know what I read earlier this week? The Bears, back to the Bears again. First they want to draft a QB, okay, that's great, but now they want to drop one. So what are they doing over there? First they drop Connor Shaw because of a dead leg, and now they go out in free agency and they pick up a receiver, and Victor Cruz with another dead leg? Man, punt that.
No doubt, Josh. Listen, hey, Spoon Bear. Josh, but he said the Bears. He didn't mean you, Spoon Bear. He talking about the Chicago Bears.
That's right.
All right. So here's Spoon Bear. Are you ready? I know I'm ready. Spoon. Let's punt it out. Owner for the New York Giants, they come out and said the reason why we won't sign Colin Kaepernick is because of fan mail. But wait a minute. You was hiding other stuff like a little pound and ground going on in the Pro Bowl. Spoon Bear, let them know. Punt that shit.
I can't believe you did me dirty like that. We have one Punt That segment. You come right at me in my heart, in my team, in my colors, in my base.
I'm sorry. He shouldn't answer like that. He should have said, you know what? We have a good roster of quarterbacks. We're good, and that's it. He didn't add the extra stuff. I don't know if it was all the owner. It's your turn to take up the heat off or whatever, but it should have been said like that.
I think that's why I like you a little bit, because you're reasonable and you teach me new things rather than coming at me negatively. You inspire. You'd say, hey, this is the way you could go about it, rather than being, so assertive and mean. I like that. I thank you, Tim. Appreciate that.
Hey, you see, having Spoon Bear around, it calms me down.
I need to go to the Bear workshop. Definitely.
No doubt.
So I think shortly or very soon we should have maybe the objectively biased one joining us. He said he was running a little late. I think he said he was just getting back from Lincoln in Philly, and he said that the receivers corps isn't looking too good. So he was out there running the 3-cone drill with them, trying to get their agility up. Said Alshon's not looking too. He says it's questionable right now. So, but other than that, Tim, you got anything before we get into the good old topics, the juiciness of tonight?
Oh, nah. The only thing I want to say is, it's like point out what Sean said earlier. This is going to be a series of 2 topics. We're not here to disrespect race or sexuality. We are here just to it's an open conversation. If you feel you have an opinion, you type on the wall for us to see, or you just call in 213-5155, and
Sorry to cut you guys off, but it looked like we got some who already dialed in from the New York area. Who's this on the call?
Yo, it's Ronaldo. I just couldn't find the link, so I just called in to hit the show.
Oh, Ronaldo? Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll just hang in there. If you have any opinions, let us know. All right, continue, guys.
Tim. All right, so I think we'll start off with the racial profiling. Now, like Tim was basically just starting off. This is nothing really to get mad about. It's opinions, and also I view it just as like a statistical thing. It's numbers. It's basically just a demographic, and we're just breaking it down, just looking at it from a pie graph type of way, I would say. So,
Right.
I guess what we could start off with, I guess, in a sense, is maybe kind of just talk about the patterns you might see. So for me, myself, what I notice in the NFL, especially, is the skill positions like the cornerback, the running back, and you could argue even maybe the wide receiver position for the most part. When I think about cornerbacks, it's hard for me to even think about the last white cornerback that was actually out there playing pretty much 90% of the defensive snaps. I can think of maybe Adam Archuleta from the Rams, and then before him, maybe Jason Sehorn from the Giants. But white people in the cornerback position, I think, has almost become extinct. I don't even know if I can name a white cornerback right now currently on the roster. I would have to do some digging. And then when you think about the running back position, Tim, to me, it strikes me as funny because we usually, when you talk about white running backs, it's usually the powerhouse type of dudes like Mike Allstott or even like our Rhett Ellison. He's going to be a blocking fullback tight end type. You can already see I'm struggling naming the white backs, though, trying to go back a little bit. You can argue Rex Burkhead, but what has he done really? We'll see what he does in the Patriots uniform. And now this year, we'll see what we really get out of Christian McCaffrey. But other than that, do you think, especially because of Christian McCaffrey being so rare that you don't really see white people in the running back position anymore, do you think maybe he might be a little bit targeted, or maybe not targeted in a sense? I guess that's the wrong word to use here to make it sound like he's got a bounty or something on his head. But do you think it's because it's such a rare, almost like it's a non-common thing? So do you think that makes it more appealing for them to kind of go after that guy a little bit harder, like, hey, rookie, or hey, you want to play this position? Let's see how easy or see how good you are at this position, because not many of you play here, so let's see what you got, type of thing. On the other end, before you get to that, I'm gonna say, even in the NFL, when I was a kid, I was always questioning with the black people, like, how come you never see a black kicker or a black punter? Now you get with the Raiders, you got Marquette King, and I'm just like, yo, that's awesome. This, well, how come this hasn't happened so long ago? I was waiting for this to occur, and now 2017, we finally do have a black punter, which is awesome. But even for that, like that position, you don't see many of the black people going for kicker or for the punter position as well. So that's a very rare sighting too when you see that. But it's all, I love King. I love his personality at the position. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, listen, it's like when it comes to the NFL draft, like the only position I see the African Americans have a problem with is the quarterback spot, because first of all, it's really the height. Your 5'11", 5'10", remember guys like Seneca Wallace, who played for Texas A&M, I believe, was 5'10", 5'11", could throw, but when you go to the NFL, it's a different speed, different game. And you see guys like Russell Wilson, who has proven game. You see them in Wisconsin, NC State. So when the Seattle drafted him, they already knew what they was getting him. But quarterback is the only issue as far as height. Not just the athletic standpoint, but just also quarterback smarts. If you know how to read a defense, you know how to read. Are you a good X and O guy? That's the only spot that gets questioned. When it comes to every other position, black, the African Americans, we have it down. When it comes to the whites or any other type of race, basically they look at it. Okay, you're not that athletic to play that position. I give it. There was an article on Ryan Swopes, who played for Texas A&M. He ran a 4.3 at the combine, and the article said, "I'm surprised there's a white guy with that type of speed to run a 4.3. Why? Guys like Deion Sanders, Chris Johnson, all African-American who have ran the 40 time, blazing speed. So we're surprised. It's the same thing even in this year's draft with Christian McCaffrey coming out the draft. It's been said on TV where if he was a black, he'd be taking the top 5. So, you know, my whole thing is, again, is not trying to start anything when some of us say, okay, it's not fair what we go through the NFL. You have to look at, okay, what about the other they get criticized a lot in the things that they can do. When was the last time we have a guy like Jordy Nelson? I know Fogman earlier says the top 5 receiver. He's a top 5 wide receiver. Okay, is he getting paid like a top 5 wide receiver? Is he getting looked at as a top 5? Is he getting the $18 million Antonio Brown's getting? No, he's not. So my whole thing with that is, okay, my whole some of us say, okay, it's not fair. Is it fair? And you know what they go to. Look at Julian Edelman, and look at I forgot the other wide receiver they had.
Chris Hogan
before New England. Now,
Wes.
They wasn't the teams they were playing in before. The team they were playing in before, how they do? Nothing. They go to New England. It's a system. Now, some may say, okay, well, black quarterbacks don't get weapons. That's not always the truth. The thing is this: you have to look at, is like I said last week, the kind of organization they're playing for. Are they a type of team that builds heavily, real fast around their quarter, or they're the type of team? No, we have to draft and take our time instead of trying to rush what you got, because you can honestly win. Look at Tom Brady. I don't see anything around Tom Brady that's so special and spectacular. They drafted Gronkowski. Everything else right now has been guys who didn't perform so great before teams. They had a wide receiver, and I believe in Deion Buchanan. Is it Deion Buchanan? I'm sorry, Deion. I forgot his name, but a rookie wide receiver they drafted with an MVP, and he's 1 year with the Patriots. So my whole thing is this. You know, we have to look at the overall thing. The white race doesn't get the fair treatment as well as some anything. The black don't get a fair treatment. And as far as in the coaching ranks, not to bring that up again, we spoke about that last week, but those are the things. Cornerback, you mentioned, Josh, you said right. Jason Sehorn. Jason Sehorn was the last probably white cornerback we have. We have a safety from the guy who played for Minnesota. Okay, how about defensive end? When was the last time a guy like J.J. Watt to play that, or given the time to play that position? Line basically is always the same thing: quarterback or linebacker. Quarterback, linebacker. That's basically it. Kickers, we only had 2 black kickers that I can recall. King is one of them, and the brother you had on the New York Giants a couple of years ago. Black kickers we have. So my whole thing is, It's different treatments.
Hey, Tim, your camera is kind of out. You check. You can work on that. Sorry,
no, he's fine for me. It might just be a glitch with Google Hangout. It was doing that for me last week.
All right.
Yeah, I can see Tim fine. I think Fogg is trying to work out his difficulties too. But when he gets up and running, I'm sure he'll be joining us in. Yeah, Tim, I wanted to bring it back to your last point though. When you said something about they don't get a fair treatment. I think that kind of harps on kind of the point I was almost making. Like it's a non-common thing you see. So you're not really going to put all your faith or all your eggs in that basket in a sense, because you don't really see it. You don't know what to expect. You don't have enough of a large, I guess, data pool to pull from to, what kind of see what you should expect. You don't really have a forecast to see how that, certain race is going to play in that position in a sense, because it's just uncommon. You don't really see it anymore. Our eyes are used to seeing what we see daily, weekly, almost annually in the football league. So when it comes up, it's almost like, really, is this going to work? Yeah, I'm a little, this is a little interesting here. I'm not going to lie to you. I do the same thing with my own inside the league. I look at people like, Jordy Nelson. He is a great receiver, but there's times where I'm like, I don't know. He's, when do you see really a prolific elite white wide receiver? God granted, he does well in games, and you could probably put him in the top 10. Arguably, some people want to put him top 5, But even it's like, can you keep this going? Longevity. He's doing it though. All power to him for doing it. But that's just an example. I do the same exact thing with my own, and I'm going to do the same with Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to be like, he's a talented ass back. There's no question about that. There's a reason he was a Heisman finalist. But I'm like, I don't have enough data pool to pull from to know if Christian McCaffrey is actually going to have success or if he's just going to look like a beautiful, versatile back that's just going to really kind of flatten out and end up as a second depth running back and then just kind of fade out of the NFL. I know a lot of people are questioning that too, being like, are you dumb? He's one of the best despite color, but you can't help. I mean, especially for me, it's hard not to almost kind of put that at first, your first judgment stone kind of thing at like a person like Christian McCaffrey. But then you realize, obviously you get past it, but it's the first thing that does come to mind. I mean, I think about it all the time when Christian McCaffrey, or especially like even a Jameis Winston, you could question, like, we don't have enough data to pull from to see or project how well he might do. You've had Doug Williams, you've had Donovan McNabb, you've had Michael Vick, but all of them are so different as well. All three of them are so different. What are you really going to get with Jameis now? You don't really know. You can't really compare him to others. It's just a little different in that aspect. And sometimes, I don't know, I almost want to say almost with African-American QBs, I don't know if it seems like so many that do go for the quarterback position are so damn talented that it's almost like they want to be that dual threat quarterback that really isn't sought in the NFL too much. They want the pocket present passer. And it doesn't seem like even a lot of them get accustomed to that because of their skill set most of the time. They want to be that kind of have that run option second. They can be a passer, but most of the time their skill and their talent, they want to use it. They want to utilize all that talent. And I can speak for, white people. I haven't seen a very agile or very versatile white quarterback, to be honest with you. There's really none in the NFL unless you put a track guy in at quarterback like a Julian Edelman. And there's a reason he's not playing quarterback right now in the NFL. So it's hard not to kind of put that first screen on and be like, whoa, hold on, wait, really? But once you see it going through, it's like, who the hell cares type of thing. But I think it is interesting, like a statistical point to kind of look at and kind of dissect. So that's the reason, I thought you made a good point on that, because I was kind of trying to harp on that too. It's like they really don't get a fair shot because we really don't know what to expect. We don't have enough of a history of watching it, I guess you could say, or seeing it displayed.
And, here's the thing. And I want to touch on the quarterback situation. All right. And just to clarify that, a buddy of mine who's a Philadelphia Eagles fan, not Five May, it's another buddy, and he's a big McNabb fan. And what happened was, I used to say why McNabb is not treated like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. Black quarterbacks don't get the respect. They don't.
He definitely was too. He was S on most of his career.
McNabb was great. McNabb, in my eyes, the way they do in the Hall of Fame now, you got to put him in my opinion. But my whole thing is that, okay, before you judge in there, look at the history of that team. Okay, before McNabb, they had Randall Cunningham. Before Randall Cunningham, you had Rodney Peete. Okay, Eagles have drafted many black quarterbacks, and how do they operate? They never the type of team to put plays around them, but they was doing that with anybody who was there. It's become now, it's like I told Flogman, a change of general managers. A change of general manager where you have an active GM right now who's signing players, putting plays around Carson Wentz, not because Carson Wentz is white, because that's the way he runs the team. It's the same. It's the same thing with Carolina Panthers. People have said Cam Newton doesn't get a lot of players, X, Y, and Z. Look at before Cam Newton. Look at I forgot the quarterback's name with an H, but look at him. He didn't get anybody. All he had was Musa Muhammad and the defense. That was it. Let's look at the organization and see how we do. There was saying rumors that Jerry Jones is a racist. He would never have a black quarterback. He had Quincy Carter, and he had 20 room on the practice squad. And mind you, he has signed Terry Glenn, Keyshawn Johnson. Okay, he bought over Parcells. He put everything in place for Quincy Carter to win. Quincy Carter, messed up himself. Failed 3 drug tests with Dallas. Failed another one with the New York Jets. Failed another one with the CFL. I mean, those are the, be accountable. Now, that's why if you look at Dak Prescott right now, Dak Prescott got a whole load of stuff around him. Okay. Cam Newton, he's been to a Super Bowl. Now, do I feel he should be getting treated like Dak Prescott to have an all-pro running back and Dez Bryant? Of course. But that goes on the organization. Those guys don't spend money. Look what happened with Josh Norman. I never heard of an all-pro corner not being signed by training camp, and you just let him go to the Redskins like nothing. Like, and you went. What was the record?
The Redskins.
So those are the things. Those are the things that fans I feel should look at. Let's not throw the race car with the quarterback position. Look at the organization, how they do. Now, I tell you this: what I feel about black quarterbacks, they don't get a fair treatment coming out of college, and when they go into the pros, they judge too quickly. Okay, we'll see that you're 5'11". Okay, we got an arm, but I want to try your wide receiver. No, if you're thin at quarterback, give him a tryout. Don't say we're gonna draft you as a wide receiver and you haven't played. If I feel that if a team is gonna it's not gonna use him at quarterback, don't draft him. If he wants to play quarterback, try him out. If not, then you change position. It's like Terrell Pryor. Terrell Pryor came into the league. I still feel Terrell Pryor was a good quarterback in Ohio State. It is weapons for him. They still put the blame on him, but guess what happened? The coach says, let me try your wide receiver. Stuck with him, making $8 million on the Washington Redskins. He's their star wide receiver. But those are the things that I feel that black quarterback face in the NFL coming from college is to change the position if they're not 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", or 6'5". I don't feel you don't have a Pro Bowl wide receiver, an all-pro running back. You're not surrounding them because they're black. It's the organization. Do they spend money? How aggressive are they? And that's the thing about it. That's how I feel.
We had a chime in from our very own Randy Brown on the wall. He was asking for the positions that we're basically noting and talking about. Do we know how many filling that position are coming from the D1 FBS ranks? And in those limited positions, due to NFL level filtering, or are the population limited even at the college level? So I guess what he's trying to get at is, basically from the huge cesspool of NCAA players, is the demographic there to choose from to begin with? Or is it basically just, if I'm saying this right, Randy, correct me if I'm wrong, or is it kind of filtered out at the NFL level due to the professional rank, or is it basically the population's limited even at the NCAA level? I mean, that's a good question, because watching some of the NCAA football that I do, I mean, this would probably be a better question for Dula to chime in on, if we might be able to tag Dula and get his opinion on this. But for the most part, I think it's almost the same as the NFL, just expanded almost times 4 or however many teams there are in the FBS football, 130, 160 something football teams in D1. I don't know how much, what the exact number is, but I feel like it's almost the same as the NFL. I think it's just multiplied, and it's the same exact correlation of what the NCAA shows. So, I mean, that's a good point to bring up. Is the population there to even select from? And I would say it might be there, but if it is, the talent level of them probably isn't enough to go and grab them, which is probably why you don't see them, being grabbed. And I guess being at the collegiate level is the reason that they're able to get some playing time, or get some reps in general on the starting team or whatnot. So, how do you feel about that?
Listen, I put the same, but I even put it to terms of guys like Johnny Manziel. Okay, Johnny Manziel, he's about 5'10", 5'11". Johnny Manziel was very known because the way he was beating his team, how he was beating up good defense like Alabama. Okay, and he's a short quarterback. All right, now the thing is, he comes to the NFL. People question, all right, is it going to be like Drew Brees or like Russell Wilson? But okay, when everybody attended his combines, they saw he could throw that ball. His receiver was Mike Evans.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something, Tim. I just kind of thought about with the races at the positions where it's not so common. Do you think the people that actually do get the opportunity or are projected to be, this high-profile player at the position and they just completely fail? Do you think that sets up other owners and GMs to look at it at the same way? Like, we're not going down that road again. Like, let me tell you, like, Jamarcus Russell at the quarterback position. It makes owners and GMs maybe go, if that was a flop, why would I try, on my team? Or the same with the kicker. I know he's not black, but I forget his pronunciation of his last name, Robert Aguayo from the Bucks. They traded a lot of picks just to get him, and he's been pretty disappointing right now. Does that make them go, I don't know if we would try another, Spanish or Puerto Rico? I'm not sure his nationality. Does that make them go, I'm not going to go this route again?
No, I don't. I really don't think so. I think everybody is. Listen, everybody's being scouted all year round. All year round. That's their homework. From the times college football start, you're out before college football. You're going out there scouting everybody before the game. So you're already taking notes down already of the guys who you feel your team should get a look at. You're already planning. Okay, when is this guy going X, Y, and Z? So I don't feel that. I just feel that the whole thing is this. Out of regardless, it doesn't care what position. If you have 3 quarterbacks on your NFL roster right now, you're still gonna scout somebody is new in there. So if you see somebody who's good, who may listen, I'm gonna try to sneak him in. If you don't get drafted, maybe put him on the practice squad and stuff like that. That's what it is. I think everybody gets a shot to be drafted. Now, here's the beautiful part. The beautiful part is, okay, not being drafted sometimes, because you get to choose where you want to go, where there's a hole, where there's a hole at, and where you could try to fill in that spot. I think every player is given an opportunity. Now, another thing which the NFL did this year was, I remember it used to be roster, and then the 53 roster. Now it's going from the 93 roster all the way to the 53 roster one shot. That way it gives teams a chance to look at every other, even players that they didn't even have on their roster to begin with.
Damn, is that a new rule this year?
That's this year. Rule starting this summer.
So there's no 3 cuts. It's all one day.
It's 2 cuts. I mean, 1 cut, 93 to 53.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, so my thing is this. That's another way of every team. That way you can't babysit and hold on to anybody. They even let you sign a play to somebody's practice squad. David Irving. You know, 2MW brother Bob Stagger was saying, yo, David Irving suspended. Yo, he did his thing the last 2 games of the season. What do you think we got him from? The New Orleans Saints, the Kansas City Chiefs practice squad.
Right.
Is this, everybody is being scouted who's not drafted. Everybody's pretty much getting looked at. And if you want a shot to show somebody something, you have an opportunity to show somebody something. So I don't think anybody's being looked at, he's Spanish or X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to look at him no more. Nah, I don't think that's the case. You get an opportunity to get looked at. If there's something that they don't like about you, go away from me, and that's just it.
I kind of agree with that too, Tim. Everybody do scout. I mean, if they see something in you, I would say they will look past race. In my perspective, when it comes to sport, it's entertainment, and entertainment, one color that really matters, green. So yes, race is part of our culture. It's part of our society. We deal with it as issues. We deal with it as joy. It's a mixed bag of everything. But when you talk about it, it's green talks. So, yes, not too many Hispanics is in the NFL, let alone kickers. But if there was a Latin kid who can kick a ball, ridiculously far, I'm pretty sure any organization will run after that kid in a heartbeat.
I totally agree.
And just to move on a little bit, but before I do, the number is 718-313-5155. Please dial in. We want to hear from you guys what you think. I know we have to hit on the other subject, but I have a quick question. I think we touched it a little bit, but like I said, that green talks for the most part. But is it still a prevalent thing? Like when you look at a quarterback position, which I think you guys touched a little bit, or any other position, right? When it comes to a black athlete or a white athlete, are they treated differently? And is it different for different positions like defensive or wide receiver? You see a white wide receiver, you see a black wide receiver. Like, is there like similar black and white receivers that, have similar public presence, but yet one is treated different than the other? Is it still an issue like this out there?
Tim, you want to touch up on that?
Wait. Come again, Sean? I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah. Like when you look at like the same positions are all across the board, defensive and offensive. You got your linemen, you have your safety and so forth. You have your quarterback, you have your receiver, running back. When you have black running back or white running back, two athletes who have similar public presence, meaning they're both loudmouths or whatever, but is there still that essence where a black wide receiver and a white wide receiver will be treated differently, even though they have the similar personality or presence? Is there something like that still going on with the public opinion?
I mean, here's the thing. When it comes to and mind me if I said this wrong, if I say this wrong, correct me. But when it comes to a black player and a white player, the black player will get the more popularity roles, all because, and for what I feel, going out, athletic ability, X, Y, and Z. That's like if people look at Jordy Nelson, you look at
a little bit of a glitch.
Yeah, sounds like a little bit of a glitch. I mean, until Tim comes back to us, I guess. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, it's a really good question, because if I'm trying to think about it from a GM or owner perspective, if I have these two candidates that are almost virtually the same, pretty much the same attributes, same physique, almost the same personality in a sense, I think it almost comes down to where it doesn't even matter. It almost comes down to just like a probably like a flip of a coin, almost like a job interview aspect. I mean, if they could both do the same things on the field, I think it almost boils down to what personality you feel fits the organization best at that point.
My question is more or less to the public opinion, not
public
opinion, not so much the organization, because when it comes to the organization, like you just said, green talks, you know what I mean?
Right.
What really fits your team? But like the press and the fans and how people will view, like, say, Tom Brady's he talks a lot of smack all the time,
right.
But yet in public speaking, you never really hear people talk about Tom Brady talk too much smack. But yet, you will have, let's say, Cam Newton, and he's doing a Superman, and everybody said, "Oh, he's showboating all the time," and and that's just a quarterback position. And in my opinion, I think it's more so the quarterback position. But is it like that with other positions where other like say running backs or defensive players, that they get that same kind of treatment, that you could be the same person, but if you're white, they kind of overlook your antics, but if you're black, it kind of sticks on you on a public media and fan standpoint, not so much the organization. The organization really can care less as long as you're not hurting their money.
I don't know if there's really like a good answer for that, because when I think about it, I think of like if a white quarterback were to do kind of like the antics that Cam Newton does, I don't think it would be too much different. I think you would have the haters and the people that absolutely love this style of play from the guy. But at the same time, on the punishment side, I don't think that anybody really gets the benefit of the doubt, especially when it comes to the commissioner. When he sees it's bad for the league, he's going to go ahead and discipline it, especially when you think of somebody like a Bill Romanowski. That guy was a straight-up scumbag, and I don't think anybody really respected that dude on the playing field whatsoever. He might be one of the top 10 most hated players to ever play the game. So, in that aspect, I don't know if really, especially for the public eye perspective, what I'm trying to think about is marketing in a sense, because I'm trying to sit here and I'm trying to debate how can we, like the New England Patriots, they're a good kind of thing to bring up, because it's like, who would you rather market on the Patriots in terms of a wide receiver? Would you rather try to market Chris Hogan, or would you rather try to market a Brandon Cooks? And for me, I'm going Cooks all the way, because I feel like he has the reliability, the factor of the speed that you can market or just build up, and I think he could be that wide receiver that Patriots Nation just falls in love with. Wow, Chris Hogan is just like, you're a lacrosse guy. You did make a splash last year, but we really don't know who you are. And at the same time, Brandon Cooks is more proven right now, especially college-wise too. So I don't know. I think it boils down to almost maybe the athletic ability, maybe how you can market that player towards the media and towards the fans as well. I think that maybe play a little aspect into it. But the racial thing, I don't think it really plays too much into it when it comes down to like roster talent and who to display as the face of your franchise in a sense.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. There's other racial topics, that racial situations that happen in the NFL that we could, but that's as far as skill position, basically when it comes to skill positions, like I said, I don't think when it comes to a black, I don't, from my opinion, I don't think that because a black quarterback failed, we're not going to draft no more black quarterbacks. I don't think that's what it is. Because again, Seattle Seahawks, okay, they drafted a black quarterback and they signed a free agent quarterback that year. He got hurt. Russ took over. And here's another thing. When some talk about attitude, now, again, not to go to get off the subject, we talk about attitude. Look at Russell Wilson's attitude. The guy is a born leader. The guy has basically knocked off every bad critic from the days in college. When I believe it was in Wisconsin or NC State, one of them said, "No, we want to make you a wide receiver." He goes, "No, I'm out." And he went to the other team and balled out, came here. Look what he did. Yeah. 2 times back-to-back Super Bowl. You understand what I'm saying? So my whole thing, another thing also is situations. Some situations that happen. If you look at Dak Prescott, we're talking about, I was there live in training camp when Kellen Moore went down. It was Tony Romo, Kellen Moore, and Dak Prescott. Now, Tony Romo gets hurt against Seattle. Kellen Moore broke his leg in training camp. What we have? Dak Prescott. Nobody saw this coming. Not even the Dallas Cowboys, looked at him all throughout the NFL draft process, got him in the 4th round. But and also, Dak Prescott was criticized too about the way he was throwing the football. They compared him to Tim Tebow. And look at him now. So his situation, I think the brother in New England, Brissett, is going to be something special down the line. Let's see what happens with Garoppolo in case Brady goes down, something like that. That kid is Tom Brady, but with athletic ability. We saw him start, and we saw what he can do as far as him running X, Y, and Z. Now, to also compare, look at Colin Kaepernick. Okay. There you go, Fogman.
Man, I'm resilient. I had some hell trying to get on here.
It's all right. When it comes to a guy like Colin Kaepernick, a guy like Jim Harbaugh, he knew.
Can I cut in right really quick? Ronaldo, this is on our event page, actually, event page comments. He says that nobody knows what Hogan or Cooks looks like outside of their pads. They have the same chance at marketability. The who you gotta worry about is who you marketing to. Hogan hits homes and Crooks will not, and vice versa. So, well, what do you think about that Josh?
Hey, it's Tom Brady. Brandon Cooks can easily have freaking 25 touchdowns this season in the slot. So we'll see how his marketability is in January of 2018.
Tim? And we got to rush over to the other side of the subject. So just a comment on Ronaldo's comment.
I mean, listen, people are going to choose Cooks. You know, first of all, we see what the man. First of all, is look at the pass. Look what Cook has done in college, coming into the NFL compared to Hogan. Hogan was just a regular journeyman. I mean, then after that, he went to the he went out to the Miami Dolphins. Wasn't even utilized as much. The Patriots just got him over because of the system. Now they traded for Brandon Cooks, meaning that's somebody special. We saw what he did with New Orleans Saints. Listen, we can sit here and, you know, it's not. I say it like this: guys are being watched right now as we speak, and we only in June. They're getting tested. They're getting looked at. They run, do this, do that. They're getting tested and wait to see, okay, how you feel about this guy coming into the pros? And everybody gets looked at evenly, in my opinion. I'm not gonna sit here and say that, because that guy's white, that guy's black, X, Y, and Z. They were saying that about the Patriots when all of a sudden they had Brady, they had Gronk, they had wow, their whole starting class is white. It was a system thing, and the way they run their system is goes to the player. The money goes to the quarterback. None of their big time players, the receivers, ever made top dollars. They got rid of them. The minute you were last in your deal, you're gone. We have your draft pick. That's how good the Patriots was. Now this year they traded for Cooks. Difference. First time he's black. You know, so you know, again, I bring it back to going with Jerry Jones. He would never have a black quarterback. He has two. He had three of them.
Well,
four of them. Excuse me, Randall Cunningham.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Chime in.
Just because he had a black quarterback doesn't mean that he may not be a racist at all. It's just, hey, you know what? This guy's the talent. This is what people are looking at in the NFL. This is what scouts are looking at. So go with the talent. Doesn't mean that you're any less racist because quarterback, even if it goes against what you believe is your moral values.
Well, fine. What I'm trying to say is this, because some of the comments was being asked was, will you sign him, or if a black quarterback fail, I'm not gonna look at that black quarterback. I don't want because that black quarterback failed.
That's what I'm trying
to negate.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm trying to negate.
That's what Tim is saying. Yeah, I mean, look, if someone really a racist in their heart or not, that's a different argument.
Different story. I agree. But when it comes to talent, just because that black quarterback failed doesn't mean we're not gonna sign that one. It's everybody. Some of these guys are in bad situations. Some of these guys are in good situations, and that's why I keep saying, put the finger at the individual. Look at where they at, and look at the history of what that is.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily hold true. I heard you mention Johnny Manziel's situation, and because he went to the Cleveland Browns, look at how he collapsed. He was the great white hype. I'm sorry, he was a white quarterback that people were buying into. That he could be this athletic player that could come into the league and do what guys like Michael Vick and Steve McNair could potentially do, and a lot of teams were buying into it.
I mean, before you saw his performance, there was a little bit of a hype behind.
Wait a minute.
Is it because he's white? Probably.
No.
Hold on, make this quick because I want Fox to give his rundown of this topic before we switch.
Yeah.
No. Listen, I'm sorry. Fog, go ahead. Keep going, Fog.
Well, I just want Fox to touch up because he's just coming in late. So I want him to have the stage for like 5-10 minutes real quick. Just to touch up on what we went over, though, it was basically like me and Tim were just talking about points where that was one aspect. Like, would you kind of maybe have a little bit of a itchy feeling about going for a race in that position, like a Jamarcus Russell, if they fail that quarterback, or maybe like a Spanish kicker because of Robert Agoyo and his failures. And the other parts we were talking about is, do you have a little bit of a sense with race in certain positions because of their race? Like I brought up Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to have a little bit of doubts just because of his color, and we don't see it much. We don't have enough of a data pool to pull from to see how white running backs or even like white receivers like Chris Hogan, and then even Jordy Nelson gets doubts because he's just a white wide receiver, and you don't see that much in the league. So what's your take on all that? Do you kind of have that position too, like where you're like, but hey, he's performing.
I unfortunately, I do find myself having that position at times, but I don't necessarily, man. It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag because I think it starts in the youth. If you've got a white running back and a black running back in the Pop Warner, youth football, and they're both pretty much the same, I think there's going to be a tendency for coaches to lean towards the black running back because, well, hey, listen, this is what is successful and what has been successful in the NFL. So you're going to see something like that happen. Conversely, you see it happen at the quarterback position. Now, I think black quarterbacks find themselves in better positions now because of the athleticism and because of the way the college game is. Not necessarily the pro game. If you've noticed, the pro game is dictated by what is great in college. And that's how you see the changes start being made. But I still think there is a stigma at the quarterback position where, well, he's a black quarterback. Is he intelligent enough to do this? Can he grasp this? And there's a whole lot of questioning on that. As far as being a white player, you have to be an exceptional white player at the skill position in order to beat the odds based on perception or social perception in this particular case at those positions.
Yeah, a white quarterback is born into the position. A black quarterback, if you're getting tall, or you're tall, you're strong, or you're doing that football, we're going to change it to a quarterback. And you're playing off your athletic ability. Now, when you go to college, all of a sudden now, son, can you read the X's and O? And if you can't read the X's and O, they already cancel you out. That's why I'm saying guys like Russell Wilson is very intelligent. Has it on, has everything. People question his height. But wait a minute. There's a guy like Drew Brees, same height and everything in the NFL. He got questioned too out of Purdue. He got questioned a little bit because of the height. But the thing they had in common, they were both smart when they went to the film room. Mm-hmm. When it comes to a guy like Michael Vick, okay, he knew the film room. He had a little bit of flaws. But his athletic ability was too crazy to pass him. Why? Nobody's ever seen the stuff that he did. Nobody's ever. And they didn't even have a defense at the time to stop it. We saw the things he did early on before before the big linemen started running the 4.3s and a 40. Everybody was slow. Michael Vick was the ultimate thing on the field. So now that you got fast defensive players, okay, yeah, they want an athletic quarterback, but can you sit down and read a playbook? Can you do? Matter of fact, can you study like Peyton Manning? Not even say Tom Brady. I say Peyton Manning.
Hey Tim,
or close to it. That's what they're looking for now.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Tim, but we had Ronaldo. You want to say anything? You call right back in.
Yeah. Because I wanted to argue about the quarterback point about reading defense and so on and so forth. Talking about black and white quarterbacks coming up at a young age. The thing that we're seeing now is that there's a lot of money being pumped in at the youth level for players, especially like middle class, upper class families. They're pumping tens of thousands of dollars into these kids. Like I tried to help a kid through high school get a scholarship as a quarterback. He got a scholarship as a safety because they're big and athletic, but he had no chance against the other dude that he was competing against. He was sitting there throwing against a kid that was. He's 17. Throwing a kid that was 14 that's been to 2 consecutive camps in Texas for $10,000 a year, $10,000 for 2 weeks. No, it was more than 10. It was more like 10 days. So what you're having is a subculture within the sport where these elite coaches putting on these elite camps or passing off these kids to other coaches. And if you know anything about football, we're creatures of habit. Like a lot of the stereotypes that you have, you're going to have that because you haven't had to change your guard yet. you got these guys that, people that they trust is like, okay, you got a quarterback coming. If they can get him, they're going to keep him. Like I even look at Nick Saban. If you've seen a Nick Saban running back, you've seen all of them. They're all over 6 foot, 230, walking in the gate. All his linebackers look the same. All his linemen look the same. He knows what he wants, and that's what he looks for. So when you talk about different stereotypes, especially race-based ones, that's just what they've grown up with, what they've known to trust, and what they're doing now. But as far as the quarterback thing, the problem is more economic than just skill. Because if I got a kid that's been going to these camps for years and years and know the system and come from guys I trust, he's going to be easier to integrate and use than a kid coming from this youth program, and I have to teach him everything. Even though he may eventually be the most physically capable, I have somebody that's ready now. And if I got to win now, especially if there's money on the line, I'm going to go with the sure product. And that's really what's happening right now. A lot of guys just aren't getting a chance because they ain't got the money to get in the game.
Well, not even just that. I agree with you 100% on that. But, add the extra factor that a lot of these high schools and colleges, they're looking at it as, okay, can this guy be what we need him to be to win ball games? Not necessarily prepare them for that next level.
No, you're absolutely right. They're trying to win now, and I keep mentioning Russell Wilson. It's funny because Russell Wilson got passed off for I think Mike Glennon, who keeps losing a starting job in the NFL. Russell Wilson was passed over Mike Glennon because of what Mike Glennon did in high school. And I think it was Mike Glennon was one of those situations where like you see a guy, like you see someone physically that you've always been looking for, that big physical quarterback that put up all those numbers, and when you get him, it's like, okay, this is what a quarterback should look like. This is what I've been looking for my whole life, regardless of whether or not he actually can contribute. He looked the part also, so to you he looks the part. So it's really once more people filter out and change and the old guard changes over, you're gonna see a lot of different things come up, because after working in high school for so long, I can tell you that like the white athletes that do put the same time in, a lot of them are just as athletic, but they suffer from the same mind test that some black athletes do in other positions.
Some great points, yeah.
Great point.
Well, I guess we gotta jump onto the other section of this episode.
Yo, great call though. Is this guy in the group? Get this guy a freaking invite. Why isn't he in the group?
Yes, we have to get you into the 2-minute warning group, Ronaldo.
Very good. And Ronaldo, we appreciate you even calling in.
Yeah, with some good insight.
If you're not in the 2MW group, please join in. Please join the group. I accept you right now.
I'm in the group. How do you think I found the chat?
Okay.
All right, there we go. Good to know.
Hey, hold on, Ronaldo. Who's your team?
My team, unfortunately, I'm a Jets fan.
Oh, big up to Trisha.
We got
Trisha,
you. Nah, we got you. We got you. You probably hopefully you'll be in our TMW.
I hope you're gonna join us for the Jets tailgate this year.
Look, every time I've tried, it's because I still coach youth football on the weekends. I've had something that came up. It's hard to make these obligations in the football season because I gotta take these kids out to school and camp.
If anything, you hit me or Trisha up in the messenger. We got you.
All right. Well, thanks again for calling us, Ronaldo. Now we got to move into the more sensitive subject of the matter: homosexuality in the NFL. Guys, what do you guys say?
Man, oh man!
All right.
Start it off, Tim.
I'll say this, and it is very. To be on the fair side, is the NFL ready for it? Yes and no. I'll say yes if, for my personal opinion, I feel that they just wanted to keep it private. We only had about 6 NFL players that ever came out. 5 a long time ago. Michael Sam was the latest one, but you know how much headlines did it cost? How much? A lot of things was put on the line. The NFL, I feel, is basically, you know, if you are, they want you to keep your personal life to yourself. Watch what you're doing on the street, stuff like that. Now, another thing is the maturity. How do other guys who don't believe in him handle it in the locker room when it's time to get undressed? How is it, the communication between the players? If if your partner is if it's sexuality with what you are, how you handle that. Now, my personal opinion, it shouldn't really matter what you are, as long as you have a respect amongst each other. Your life is your life, my life is my life, and we both are trying to accomplish and complete the job that we're paid to do. That's all it should matter. But right now, maturity level is all the way down. We see things like no disrespect to Mr. Odell Beckham Jr., not saying that he is, but just as an example, because of what Chris Carter said, that he has gotten when Josh Norman used that against him. Now, with that's been going on in the NFL for a long time, where guys use material before game day. They'll Google you, see your personal issues, what's going on, and they'll talk trash to you on the field to use that to get inside your head. We've seen that with what happened with Steve Smith's wife, when one of the players his wife got into some kind of a trouble, and he disrespected Steve Smith's wife during the game to get in Steve Smith's head. And we see how Steve Smith reacted after the game. John Randall, Hall of Fame for Minnesota Vikings, he said all the time, he would Google, put on the black paint, Google everybody's situation, and talk about it regardless. So it's used. If a player sees that your lifestyle and he thinks you're funny or whatever he's gonna think about it, now I feel that in order for you to prepare yourself, if you feel like you want the world to know your sexuality, you gotta be strong mentally. Be very strong mentally and continue your path. And I think if you do that, it'd be easier for everybody to, the maturity, especially the mature fans. I feel my thing is this: if I'm playing, what you do, as long as we try to win, we hold that Lombardi trophy up together, I don't care. You keep, as long as there's respect amongst each other. That's it.
Pretty much right off the rip. A man should never care where another man's penis is going unless you're that man's husband.
Right.
As far as the NFL goes, I kind of agree with you, Tim. It's kind of yes and no. I think if a player was to openly come out, kind of like Michael Sam, were again, 2017 or next year or whatever have you, I think they would obviously be accepted. Obviously, there would be rebuttal against a player that would openly go against a player like Michael Sam, call him some slurs, or just say that he disagrees with his lifestyle choice or whatever. They would face a lot of backlash over the media alone, and then their whole team would have to respond to it. The whole organization would have to. It would be a cluster. So I'm kind of on the seesaw balance of it. Like, yes, I think it would be accepted if it were to happen. One, because I think people are maturing towards the fact that, it's common. This is what our life, this is what the world is. This is who we are as humans. And then at the second point, I almost think that, no, I don't think it's ever going to happen, because the locker room is a very open place. It's almost like family. It's almost like brotherhood. You openly joke. You can openly do whatever. I'm sure most people have probably seen the Anthony Davis rolling around naked in the locker room and laughing. I don't know what that's all about, but I'm sure most locker rooms are pretty lax and pretty easygoing, and whatever they do, guys will be guys and young boys will be young boys and act stupid and dumb and do fraternity type stuff together. But at the same time, for the sake of the guy that would be coming out that is openly gay, or would want to come out and express that he is gay, I don't think he would for maybe a couple reasons. I think maybe they might look at Michael Sam's situation. They might see how he faced his retribution almost in a way. Like the media was almost saying, even Twitter, just most of the users were like, oh, he's just coming out. He's using this as a pedestal and a step stool to get into the league, to actually get drafted, blah, blah, blah. You know, he wants this so he can have a spot, or he's marketing himself for after football when he knows he obviously won't make it. I think players are scared of that. They don't want to be put in that spotlight. They don't want to say, dude, don't use my sexual preference as a reason of why I'm trying to boost my own career or have a shot in the league because you think it's such a tabloid issue that I'm gay, that I'm trying to get in, you know, that I'm just trying to live my life, but just because I want to come out and express what I am, you're going to use that as bait and fodder almost, or as like a little cupcake for me, you know, like, ooh, let's not hurt the gay guy or anything like that. Like, you know, let me be me, you know, that's one thing. And I don't think they ever will come out. And two, I don't think they want to disrupt the locker room in a way. I don't think they want to have it seem like, oh, the spotlight's on me now because I wanted to come out and just announce, you know, how I am, just to get it off my chest and just so we can all be open with each other. I think, you know, there's going to be different views about that. So I think for now, most of the people that are gay and openly playing in the NFL, I think they are keeping it to themselves because they don't want to be a distraction. They don't want to seem like they're trying to be the spotlight of the team or the locker room. And I just don't think they want to be an immediate distraction for the most part. I just think they're happy with the way they are. Things are going fine. Why F it up by saying one stupid line? You know, it's not stupid. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say it, but I say it's a stupid line because it should be something that should be so easy, but that one line will have so much backlash in the sense, or so much spotlight put on that person to where it's almost nonsensical to come out when you're in such a high profile job. Just wait till after, you know, your career's done. Just, yeah, I was gay. I played in the NFL. It's probably easier on them too. They don't have to face all that on the field issue, or even in the locker room. Maybe some people act a little different towards them. Who knows? But I think it would be accepted. But at the same time, I think there is kind of the iffiness where I don't think they want to still.
I don't think it'd be accepted at all. You're going to have to be a star player. You're going to have to be a Tom Brady. You're going to have to be a Julio Jones or Odell Beckham Jr. And even then, do you have the mental toughness to deal with what you're going to deal with week in and week out against other players, against other teams' fans? And we know how rowdy other fans can be and how ruthless they can be.
That's a good point.
So, yeah, I don't think that I don't think they're ready for this at all. And if a player does come out that is, again, of a higher caliber than what Michael Sam was, and is a guy that gets drafted in the first or second round and has a failure, that could be a black eye on any other player who may be gay, that, hey, maybe we don't want to draft this guy if he openly comes out because, you know, we saw what happened to the last guy.
Well, if you might have Adam's response to that, when it came to Michael Sam, and I recall Trisha, I went to go meet Trisha up by her job, and Michael Sam, the day before he was getting drafted, he was doing a show. I happened to basically I was speaking to one of the representatives there, and I was like, "Is that Michael Sam?" He goes, "Oh, wow, guy's a big guy." So she basically said, "Oh, are you a fan of his?" It was yeah. I said, "I hope the Cowboys draft him. We needed defensive players, you know." You see, so he came by and I shook his hand. Very good guy. He already came out. I knew who he was. I don't care. I'm a fan of the sport. Now, what got me was just the other stuff that went along with it. The minute he gets drafted, there's things about having around through the Rams training camp. Those are distractions. Those are bad distractions that you don't want to have. This is for what I know. Those are bad distractions. Nobody wants to have a camera on 24 hours. You're treated like the star. You just got here, and all because he came out he found out he might not get drafted when he had a bad combine. So my whole thing with that is, okay, listen, you know, it's not gonna get you nowhere. All it's gonna get you is number questions and actions. If you wanted to play in the NFL, you just play your butt off. That's all you need to do. Nobody got to know your personal business. I mean, what do you gain? I don't feel you're gonna gain anything by your coming out. No, that's something for you to hold for yourself. But you don't gotta know what you're doing. Who am I? Who's Fogman? Who's Sean? Who's Josh? Who's Trisha? Who's anybody for us to know your sexuality? What you prefer? No, we're nobodies. As long as you're comfortable with what you do, that's all that matters. And you know, my thing is this: like you said, Fog. Anybody who wants to come out. If you want to come out, come out. If you feel it's gonna make you feel better, then that's on you. But you gotta handle what comes along the way, and you gotta keep performing. But I guarantee you, it's gonna happen. I think it is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen on somebody who's probably going to be a star player. And then I want to see how the response is. That's when we're gonna know how strong the NFL is. Are you gonna find excuses to let this star player go? When this guy's doing things that's what we're gonna find out. I feel it is gonna happen because social media is out there. You got cameras all over the place. Your business is not private no more.
And what's your opinion?
Yeah,
what's your opinion on internet critics that have to voice their opinion, like let's say Aaron Rodgers? You know, he's got a lot of skepticism about him and his sexual preference, and yeah, he was Olivia Munn, you know, but he's got college rumors and whatnot. So what do you say to the people that are on the internet and they're always voicing that, you know, Aaron Rodgers should come out, you know, he should be the star of the league that just comes out and opens the gateway for LGBTQ people in the league?
No disrespect, man. I didn't curse at all today. I didn't curse at all today. Mind your fucking business. Mind your fucking business. Straight up. Worried about you. Don't have Aaron Rodgers open the fucking doors for you to come out because, oh, make me feel better. If Aaron Rodgers want to come out, let him come. Listen, there was rumors of Troy Aikman being gay. There was rumors of Roger Staubach being gay. Did we give a fuck? No. He come out, you come out. But his thing was coming out to the field and perform and play. That's what it is. Who cares? That's another thing. Nobody got special privileges that, you know, oh, you got to come out for I can feel better. Who the fuck are you? Come out yourself. Don't have nobody come out to make you fucking feel good. Fuck that.
Put it this way. I wouldn't say for them to feel good.
They're looking for a representative, someone to represent them.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's the thing.
But Tim, you are right that it's up to the person.
That's our rep.
And I don't like this whole thing that you got to make someone the spokesperson for a community. If that person doesn't want to be it, it's America. They choose not to. It is nothing against them not to. But it's not to say that it's to make that community feel better or feel special. It's to represent, because let's be honest, you know, you look at the Latin community, you look at the Black community in the past, the representation did help the community a lot for the Black community moving forward. So it's not to say that it's only meant to make them feel good for themselves. No, it's to represent them because of the stigma of the past to try and move us to the future. Now, if that person is a star and if that person is mature and professional enough to be a spokesperson of that community, great. But you know what? You got to be a professional and you have to be good at what you do. That's the problem with Michael Sam. And I think he had a chance to work on his craft. I just don't think he had the mental strength to focus on his professionalism as an athlete and be the spokesperson for the LGBT community. He couldn't do both. And it broke.
And Sean, I agree with you, Sean, because here's the thing. When Michael Sam came out, you came out only because you wanted something to gain out of it. You got drafted in the 6th round.
You're assuming. Maybe it really was genuine. We don't know.
Sean. Here's the thing.
Right, but he could be genuine.
Well, Tim.
Here's the thing.
Tim. So I got to hold on a second because I got a question for Tim. So if any player that comes out, your thought process behind them coming out is they're looking to gain something by doing that?
No. Here's my thing. No, it's not every player. The situation with Mike was saying was this. He was being questioned on a lot of different things. His athletic ability, he didn't do good in the Senior Bowl. He didn't do good at the Combine. The minute he came out, suddenly now he gets drafted. When he got drafted, he asked the Rams for permission to have the camera follow him and all that stuff. Here's my thing. It was more about fame. When you went from the Rams, Cowboys, after the Cowboys, you would say, listen, maybe you need to go to the CFL and play and prove us something. Oh, no. CFL, I'm leaving. Wait, hold on. Where's the speech that you had before about fighting? You gave up. So it felt kind of funny. Now, a player who comes out in the NFL, my thing is this: we're gonna look at let's say for instance it's Odell Beckham Jr. The man to me is the best wide receiver in the NFL, if not the second best behind Antonio Brown. If he comes out, look at this game. So now hold on. Let's just say he's about to hit the free agent market. If he doesn't get signed by nobody or just being let go, then we can say it's a conspiracy behind it. The NFL is wrong. Look at Odell Beckham Jr. But for a guy coming into the NFL after you finding out how that you might not get drafted, you losing a lot of money, then you come out with this. Corner, or if a guy's about to retire and he comes out, he's gay. You know what I mean? Like Ray McDonald, he came out. But when you find out you're not getting drafted, and then you come out, you're putting the team on the. Come on, we seen that.
I mean,
you're putting guys back in the corner.
I see your point, Tim, and you know what? That one factor that he was quick to quit. But yet he was so into his personal life. It is suspect that maybe he was a little full of himself and maybe not thinking for his community as per se. You have a point there. There's a possibility that he might have selfish reasons. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I just wanted to make sure that I agree with Tim. I just wanted to make sure that Tim wasn't making a blanketed statement here. That if somebody comes out that they're just trying to attract attention,
listen.
Clarification.
Listen. Right now, it's the maturity thing. How people gonna handle it. Listen. In my line of work, I've worked with people who I found out they was gay. They were great people in the locker room. We on a uniform. We great. We talk about sports. Oh, me and my wife are walking down the street. Oh shit! I see. All right, what up? How you doing? I know his business outside, but I don't ask it. It's not my business. If you want to do that, you can do that. I'll still say what up to you. Goal is to go home the same when we came. Go home the same when we came to work. That's the business. Same way with the NFL field. Our goal is to try to win that Lombardi Trophy, and that is it. All this other stuff don't matter. Well, I just think.
So let's try to wrap.
If a player comes out mentally, he got to have it on here. He got to be strong. You can't be worrying about teams using that tool against you to throw you off your game. And on top of that. Here's the thing. I don't think so. I don't feel anybody should have to come out. Who cares?
Let me pose one more question before we wrap it up for the night, because I want to just one quick tidbit. Because it's kind of on the subject we're on, and we talked about it last week. I want to consolidate the topics. Female coaches now in profiling. Do you feel there's going to be some sexual profiling now in the league? Albeit we all have mothers, grandmothers. We love them dearly. All women have raised us, I'm sure, in our lives. We should all respect women. But you're going to have the macho men, hot-headed people in the league that are probably gonna be like, "Fuck this! You don't know shit, man. What the fuck out of here?" You think we're gonna have that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely it's gonna be.
Absolutely.
I mean, what do you look at it this way? Even in corporate America, Fox, network, for example, a lot of these executives are still from the Mad Men era. So for a head coach, she would have to be, in close communication with the executive of the organization. And I'm not saying it's prevalent in every, NFL team, but there's going to be some level of that they will have to fight through wherever they just keep their mouth shut or do they talk up against it. It's going to be a very, very tricky spot for a woman head coach if that were to happen today.
Yeah, just the assistants in general, I'm sure, are probably going to face. They're not that high ranked yet, but I just thought it would be an interesting question to post since we were on the topic, and we talked about it last week with the women assistants and stuff coming up now in the game. So, all right, good show, fellas.
Thanks again, guys. It's been great. We'll be back again, same time, same place next week. Anything else to drop on the line?
Actually, I got a final thought here. I just came up with it because of what Tim said, that he doesn't feel anybody should come out. The difference between being in that community and being Black, being a woman, being Hispanic, who you are is completely visible, as opposed to being in the LGBT community. It's not visible. It could be someone who looks like you, someone who looks like me. So in order to bring light and be a representative to that community, they would have to come out.
Well put.
I mean,
it's a good point. I agree with that 100%.
Make it quick.
I do see Fogg's point, but what I'm trying to say is, my thing is this: okay. Put this. If you're gonna come out, I just feel like it's no pressure. I don't feel like nobody should have no pressure to come out. Or I gotta say I'm gay so I can play. No, I don't even think that. What I'm trying to say is this: business, but if you want to come out, then fine. But you gotta what's gonna be used against you. And I'm talking about the tools that have been used for years on the field. You're gonna have guys use that against you. They may not mean it, but they're gonna use it to throw your game off, to throw you off your game. And strong. That is it.
Well, put it this way.
Handle that. You can't handle coming out.
Well, Tim, put it this way. And that's a valid point. The struggle of coming out, but you also have to take a look at it this way: being part of that community. It's like. Put it this way. It's easier. It's probably we need a perspective of a person in the LGBT to really talk about it and express how they feel and why the need for people to come out. Because it's easy for us to say, yes, they should or shouldn't. Because, I'm not going to judge everybody here, but I'm going to assume that we're not part of the LGBT community.
Right.
But to really say that it's best that they shouldn't, I think that perspective should come from a person of the LGBT community, because it'd be kind of weird for someone to come to me and tell me what I need to be as a Black man if the person is not of the Black community or grew up, in a similar Black, community. So it's kind of weird for someone to come to me without my perspective, without my, my life struggles, to tell me how I should live my life struggle. So when it comes to the LGBT, maybe we need to hear someone from that community to say from their perspective why they need someone to come out or not. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
On that note, folks, we'll be back again, same time, same place. No doubt. Pew, pew, pew. Hopefully,
peace, love.
And we out, fellas and ladies.
Peace.